Hello, welcome back to One to the Force, a Star Wars podcast, where I'm joined, as usual, by my co-host Dave, and absent, and I'm just Phil, of course. Good evening, Dave, you alright?
I'm very good, my friend. I'm very good. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Having a little giggle before we came on air. We might as well literally just jump straight into the news. Oh.
Straight into the news?
Straight to the news. I just echo the back of my own headphones there. Just very, very weird. I left another YouTube tab open and just came out going, "Hello, welcome back to What Was the Force podcast." Like, wait, am I what's happening there? Just got it. But anyway, yes. So jump straight to the news with London Film and Comic Con just trolling us all very slightly over the weekend. So they teased an announcement saying how they had a guest coming up they're going to announce today. There's a guest that you never would have thought of, someone who's never done a signing before. There are photo opportunities for you to complete your collection. We all thought it potentially be Harrison Ford. George was talking about potentially dropping $1,000 on the Diamond Pass just to guarantee his autograph. And it's Christopher Eccleston. So nothing to do with Star Wars, nothing to do with this podcast, just trolling us because they can.
Well played, Showmasters. Well played. Got a lot of attention. People are going to actually see today what the announcement was. They played it very much like it was Harrison Ford with the you're going to be able to complete your collections with this autograph. It's huge. It's not that huge.
It's completely a collection, but not the collection.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll move on from them because they trolled us. So we're just moving on straight away from them.
We will to solo news that isn't really solo news anymore, with the fact that it's to do with Phil Lord and Chris Miller. So as we all know, and in fact as we saw when we were at Star Wars Celebration, they were to direct Solo, a Star Wars story. They shot about 80-90%, and then Disney saw it and went, what is this mess? No, and kicked them off the project and got Ron Howard in and reshot it all. However, they are to be given an executive producer credit each, which does make sense. They did put in a lot of the legwork in terms of the pre-production, so the story development, the casting, and things like that. So they do deserve some credit where credit is due.
They were definitely going to get something along the lines. They were never going to be missed off. I didn't think they'd even get executive producer, to be honest. I thought they'd be quite a bit further down the credits, maybe somewhere in the story, like a little bit of the story or something. But that's all. That's Kazan as well, so they're not going to get on there. So, I mean, yes, you're right. The circumstances behind them leaving, not great, but they were always going to get some kind of credit, and it is only right. I mean, we don't know everything that went on behind the scenes. We know what Kathleen Kennedy's like for, if it's not going the way she wants, just to, right, we'll start again, get someone else in. And with Trevorrow as well, for episode 9.
It's the only thing with Disney where they can just go, it's okay, we have loads of money, just throw the money at it and it'll work.
Yeah, so, it was expected, but they're actually getting a bigger credit than I thought they would, but you're right, they did shoot quite a bit this movie. From what I've heard on sort of sources that have been, there's a leaked source came out during the week that someone had said they didn't shoot a new script. Ron Howard just went back and shot 90% of what they shot and just redid the scenes. Obviously better pacing and things like that. So yeah, my expectations are low for this movie, but I think that's probably the best way to go into it still. Yeah,
it's going to be one of those films where, as a Star Wars fan, we knew what we were getting into with Rogue One in terms of we knew what the story was going to be. That was fine. We just went into it going, okay, let's see what this is like. This is a movie that is completely uncharted territory for Star Wars. It is a spin-off story to do with a main cast, or a main character from the original trilogy, but it's one that we never thought we'd get and probably didn't really need because Episode 4 is Han's origin story. Now, an Lando origin story, that would be wicked. We'll wait to see. And as even Star Wars teased a few days ago, it's exactly 2 months until the release date. And still only one trailer.
I mean, yeah, it's
worrying. Is what it is.
I don't know if they kind of hold it because they held back on the teaser trailer so much as to when they're going to release, sort of giving us a full trailer. I mean, we've got some big movies coming out. George is not with us tonight, and the reason for that is he's actually got preview tickets to see Ready Player One tonight.
Yes.
So he's actually out seeing Ready Player One a couple of hours before its actual official. No, I think it's got a midnight. It's got a midnight release tonight.
No, it's in a few days' time.
Oh, just tomorrow, is it?
No, it's I think the UK release is Friday.
All right, well, yeah, so George is there tonight, so he's got he's in a preview screen, so that's why he's not with us tonight. He's actually seeing Ready Player One as we speak, or queuing to go into Ready One, or
so as usual, it's Phil, George, Phil, Dave, and absent.
Hey, if we could all be seeing a movie for free, that'd be cool too. But yeah, so it's it's I don't know. I'm just going in with expectations held at a certain level, and I just it's still a strange one. No trailer. We've got the reason I went to George where he was was we've got big films coming out. We have Infinity War coming out soon as well. So I'm guessing we're going to see a trailer launch in front of one of these.
Infinity War was May.
Is it not? It might be. It's either week. They're definitely not releasing the same week. I don't know if it's before or after now. Now you've said it. No, it must be before because we're at 24th of May for which we'll talk about later.
When George put in, he reckons it'll be Infinity War, we see the final solo trailer. It makes no sense. Like, here, the week before the film, here, have a trailer.
They've launched, I mean, all these trailers, I mean, nothing has been just attached to a film. It's always been TV or on their YouTube channel that we're getting the trailers now.
Event, which makes me think it could be the NBA Finals. But
okay, so that's coming up as well. So
that is coming up, yeah. I mean, we've only got a couple of games left of the regular season and the playoffs kick in, go Celtics. So we will see what happens there. But that's the next big sports event because the baseball season hasn't kicked off yet, nor has the hockey season's coming to an end. But I don't know if they'll do it for the Stanley Cup. So it's going to be one of those two big sports events, I think.
Yeah.
Depends if ESPN have the rights to any of those as to who gets what and what gets shown, if it is to be on TV. If not, May the 4th.
That could be a good call. Yeah. It's a good job. I've got the day off work. That'd be cool.
Yes, and also I do reckon on May the 4th we'll see announcements for Star Wars Celebration 2019, and
we should get something. I mean, it's May the 4th is kind of the day they've got for all these announcements. It's National Star Wars Day, so we're going to get something on that day. What that is yet, we don't know. But I was looking over our schedule, and I don't think we have it mentioned yet. But the date for Solo as well here in the UK, all of the international releases the 25th of May, in line with what we've had with really all the films that we get them launched on the Wednesday, midnight of Wednesday going into Thursday for the midnight showings of these films. We're getting the release on May the 24th. Whether that is going to be a midnight screening for a Solo movie, I don't know. I mean, they did for Rogue One, so I'm guessing there's probably going to be some interest in seeing that at midnight. But definitely we are getting a launch.
We will be.
We'll definitely be getting a launch on the 24th, officially announced for the UK. So we're getting that one day earlier than everybody else is.
So it'll be midnight on the 23rd, 24th when we get it. And yes, all three of us will be watching it. And then we'll do our usual. We'll do a spoiler-free review the next day, or the day off, basically. And then we'll wait a week, and then we'll do a full spoiler review, so that you can have a spoiler-free and spoiler review. So you can join us as we hopefully not, but probably will tear it apart.
I don't think I'd ever tear it apart, but we might.
Wait till we do a Attack of the Clones / Mortis trilogy review, then watch us tear Star Wars apart, which we do not wish to do.
Not with the Mortis trilogy, won't we? Be fine.
Oh, we will.
Because I'll just have to do my own video for Mortis, and it will have lots of love. Attack of the Clones, I'm with you on. Yeah, it is a terrible movie. But yes, so that's.
Why we open the DVD case, just sand and just fall out. Here you go. Or salt. This is you think you want sand? No, salt. This is all you're gonna need. Just salt coming out of this film. There's so many cool bits, but it's just let down by so much crap.
Yeah. One day we will go into the films and we'll look at each one of them, and I think we'll make for a good series of episodes. But yeah, we'll let's move on from where we are.
Indeed. However, though, going from prequels to sequels. Mark Hamill has revealed Lucas's original plan for Luke's death, and how that would have happened in Episode 9 after he trained Leia. Now, Rian Johnson looked at the original treatments, and apologies, sir. He looked at the original treatments and did take inspiration from it. Compared to JJ, who kind of threw it out the window, Rian Johnson looked at it and went, yes, Leia being trained, like that, using the Force. Luke dying, yes, like that. I mean, there are some aspects between the two films we do wonder why it's set straight after. How the obsession goes from, kind of being the substance of Darth Vader to being obsessed with Luke and so many things. There's so many bits and pieces. However, the way that panned out I do wonder what's going to happen for 9 now, considering what the plan was to be with Carrie. Yeah, what are your thoughts on that, Dave?
I mean, it was nice that it revealed that it came out that obviously this is Lucas's treatment. So it was nice to get, again, something from the maker, from some actual words. This is what Lucas was planning on doing. That we're going to get this scene of, it was going to be really like passing of the torch to carry on or finish out or round out the story. It would have been lovely to see. And it's nice to know, obviously, we know that Leia has some Force ability, whether that's in any form of training, which it hasn't been confirmed that Luke gave her any kind of...
It has in Bloodline, but it's where Leia had a little bit of training, then decided just to go, no, it's not for me.
Cool.
So she did have some formal Jedi training.
Yes.
And it is...
we're not talking about where she...
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, so it's a really nice... Would have been nice for it to round out the story. And you're right, with losing Carrie, it might have been something that might have even played out in 9. We'll never know. We'll never know what those original plans were. Maybe sometime in the future we might get some kind of read on that to say this is what were the initial plans for 9 were.
Yeah. However, it does tie in nicely to our next bit of news, which Hamill also said it's up to JJ if he's going to return in 9. And I do think that with the passing of Carrie, we will have Luke in 9 as a Force ghost, along with Yoda training Rey, potentially, to fill that gap that Carrie would have taken.
I think we have to. I was just about to say, I mean, literally they've made these films where 7 was Harrison Ford's movies, Han Solo came back. 8 was certainly Luke's movie, and I think 9 would have been Carrie's movie. I think each one was given a film each of this closing trilogy for themselves before their characters were. Yeah, absolutely.
They finally did, yeah.
Before their characters were kind of closed off, and we just moved on without them, to be honest, and maybe mentioned as background characters, but you wouldn't have seen them again after that. The passing of Carrie has kind of moved that, where I think the next film, as I've said multiple times, that it'll pick up way in the future. I think we'll probably see at least 5-6 years between movies, somewhere around that sort of time frame, or as the actual movies are, maybe 3 years, something like that. But we'll get a gap, and I've got a feeling we'll get an opening crawl that says Princess Leia has died or something like that. And whether they start with the funeral or we'll move straight into the story and it'll just be something that's been mentioned later. Luke coming back, I think, is an absolute undeniable. I can't see how JJ would go on with his episode 9 without him.
Yeah,
he played such a big role in 8, and even his goodbye was a see you around, kid. It wasn't. I mean, yes, he had his dying moment where he went and became one with the Force.
Yeah.
The fact. I can't see him moving on with that. I really can't see JJ going, well, I'll get by this without Hamill. He will have nowhere near as big a role.
I mean, even when I saw him at Celebration, he mentioned 9, so you'd like to think that he knew that.
Yeah. You've got to think he's been contracted. When he was contracted for 3 movies. Yes, Harrison only wanted to come back for 1, and so he could finish his character off.
Which actually I think is probably the best thing for Solo's character, and it was it's one of the main reasons I love 7, is that it was a finality for Solo, but every character in that film used as a springboard to do 8.
Yeah.
And then continue into 9. So I think, for me, his sacrifice is one of the best things about that film.
It's a great moment. It's one of the moments when you were sitting in the cinema, and as soon as he walked out onto that tiny plank walkway, you knew what was coming.
Like, no,
yeah.
No, okay.
A million fanboys suddenly cried out.
Yeah.
Suddenly silenced, apart from the weeping and tears dropping into popcorn. But yeah, so...
It's fine. Actually, to be fair, for me, it wasn't Han's death that got me, it was Chuys War immediately after. That's what broke me. Because I was sat there almost in shock. Not quite in shock just because you could see it coming, but there was that moment where you thought it couldn't happen, and then when it did, I was in complete shock, and then Chuys War just snapped me out of it. But it was an emotional, very powerful scene. It
holds up. It's a movie that I've gone back to a few times. Just now that it is on the border, it's verging on release here as well. It's obviously already out in the States digitally. Is it April 9th, I think we get?
Yes, it's the actual.
We get the actual release. So I'm really looking forward to that.
I did joke with my other half that if it came out on April 8th, that we would spend her birthday watching it. She's very grateful that it's not going
I believe that's only the right way to do it, and
she was quite adamant that was not to be the case. Lucky for her, it's coming out the day after her birthday, so
you'll be grateful for it, Adele. You'll be grateful.
Exactly. You want some time to be on your birthday? We watch Star Wars. What's wrong with it?
I made my wife watch Last Jedi the other day. Just literally, she hadn't seen it, so we're going to watch it through means that I have that already to watch it. But yeah,
we are one to the Force.
Yes, absolutely. That's how we got it.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's get to our next story.
Again, continuing with Last Jedi though, it won Best Film, Best Director, and Best Actress at Empire Awards. Was it last night? Like before?
No, it was actually last. Was it last week?
Well, I've been.
I think it was sometime last.
Yeah, I've been out of it.
You've been out of it for a little bit. We've been out of it for a little while and get delusions of grandeur. No, it was Phil. Unfortunately, hasn't been well. So he has been out of it for a little while. He's been away. But yeah. So the Empire Awards were either last week or the week. It's been between our last two episodes. So yeah, Empire Awards are a nice shindig in London. And often you get to see films get awards that don't necessarily win at things like the Oscars and the BAFTAs. So Last Jedi took director, film, and actress, for Daisy Ridley. Was it the best film of 2018? No. Was Daisy Ridley the best actress? Not really. Director, to be honest, I would like to see Ryan up there. I think it is his take and direction on Star Wars is something that we have not seen in that kind of movie, but got a chance until maybe Episode 9 if they then say this is going to round out the Star Wars saga like they did for Return of the King. He's made all these movies about Hobbit and let's give him an award. I don't think anyone had a chance. Star Wars doesn't pick up these awards ever since Star Wars didn't get the original Oscar it deserved when it came out and lost to Woody Allen. They've just never got that recognition. No,
they've never got the recognition they deserve. But we'll see. It'll probably be a career award when it comes to 9. But we'll see. But yeah, it's always. I mean, it's a nice thing. I mean, the Empire Awards. Empire's a massive magazine, and not just in the UK. I mean, worldwide. Empire is read worldwide. It's looked upon as such high esteem as terms of film magazines go. There aren't many film magazines left with print, dying the way it is. Thanks to the joys of the internet that we're on and we love. But yeah, for it to be such a strong player still is great. I mean, there was no Hamill was there, Ryan Johnson was there, Daisy Ridley was there. They probably were aware of going to get awards. Maybe that's going to be one of those things they'll probably know. But for them still to go out to that, and there's a lot of great actors go to this awards, and it's just nice for it to get some recognition as the movie that it was for a lot of people, and then certainly for me has become that movie. I've certainly grown the movie. I can't count on two hands now how many times I've watched the movie. It's certainly for me was a slow burner, a real grower. Really slow burner, but it really has grown me as well. Yeah,
I'm really bordering on loving the movie now. There are still issues I have with it, but they are way outside of any issues where even that now goes quickly when you watch it. It doesn't feel like it did in the cinema at the times I've watched it. It goes by so quickly, and it's I don't know. It certainly has grown on me in time, and it's becoming a movie I like to sit down and watch. Just I'll put a Star Wars movie on. Last Jedi, of course.
Indeed. Although if we're going to talk about Star Wars, as we are, we might as well talk about the original 6 scores are to be remastered and re-released on May the 4th. We're going to talk about May the 4th. This is something I saw last week, I think it was the week before, but I immediately freaked out. I cannot wait to add those to the collection.
These soundtracks are as much Star Wars as some of the movies are. I can put on a New Hope soundtrack, listen to that through, and know where I am in that movie.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
and feel that movie, and I can see that movie with. I mean, we've seen it so many times; it's unreal. But I can follow the trail of that movie through the music, and that goes with all of John Williams' soundtracks. The guy is an absolute master at his craft.
Yeah,
and to get these things remastered, I think
no one day he will be held in the same esteem as Mozart and Beethoven. He is that caliber.
And people think you go, oh, he's like a composer of films. You don't see it. You've got to look deep than that. He doesn't just this music that he makes. It's some of the best classical music you will come across.
Yeah.
Some of these tracks are it's Duel of Fates, things like that, Across the Stars, and even Attack the Clones Across the Stars, and it's a wonderful piece of music.
Yeah.
It's just to get them remastered. I hope they're bringing out vinyl as well. I don't know if it's just on.
I believe so. Yes.
Digital down, but I will have to have those as a collection because why wouldn't I? You have to have a little bit of crackle in the background. It sounds lovely. Yeah. But yeah, to get all 6 remastered, count me in. I'm in. So take my money.
Indeed. But speaking of John Williams, he has come out to say something very interesting. So he thinks that we'll find out Rey's parentage in episode 9. Now, why would he be saying this?
Because John Williams appears as Rey's dad.
He could make for a possible Count Dooku.
He really could. That would be awesome. It's a strange one because obviously there's not been a frame shot. There's not been. I mean, the script's complete, but Williams wouldn't have surely. Would you have seen it at this point? Because I mean, yes, he's got to still compose a full film, but surely before they maybe have. I would have thought he would have themes of what the film is going to entail. So maybe there is. We know the script's complete, so maybe he has had some indication of what's in that, so we can start as the guy's not getting any younger. So I guess the earlier that JJ can get him something to start. Look, this is what the general theme of the film is. Yeah. This is where I'm starting. This is where I'm finishing. Go write something, and we'll then work that. Maybe he does know more than he should have let out.
Yeah, essentially. I mean, if that is to be the case, then it's one of the things you can't really tell him off, but you can say, don't say anymore.
Yeah, that's enough now. He's at an age now where you can't. Yeah, it's like that thing when people get to a certain age, like they can just say what they like. It's fine. It doesn't mean anything. It's okay. Just ignore them. They're fine. Don't ignore them.
It's half that and half just the respect as well. It's just because it's John Williams. You can't really tell him off. But it's like no more for you. It's one of those things it's the elderly relative. You take the glass of wine off and go, I think you've had enough now.
Yeah. I'm just going to put the bottle lid on the sherry. There we go. Merry Christmas to you too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But no, it's I mean, as I said it out and I spoke about them. Maybe he has had a brief insight. As I say, I think his age will play a part in why he's maybe got information earlier than he normally would have.
Especially if it is to be his last film, I think he'd want time to create his
score on it. Yeah, and I think, as I think we said in our last episode, that if this is Williams' last Star Wars film, it will win best score at the Oscars.
Of course.
The after release 2019, 2020. 9 Star Wars movies and a little bit of Solo.
Yeah. Also, I think it's more of it's going to be his 8th or 9th Oscar as well.
It'll be. I mean, the man's been nominated more than Meryl Streep, and that's a lot.
Yeah. He's been nominated 53 times. There's only so many times you can give them all. So look, you get your nomination, but someone else has to win it for once, John. Come on, like, to be fair.
It's been a while since he's won one though, so I do believe rounds out
the
his
career
Star Wars
saga.
Yeah, and he'll get that for just working hard. There you go. Yeah. Here's your Oscar.
However, unlike some career awards, this will be more earned because Episode 9's score will be a masterpiece, and I can tell you that without hearing a single note. Because the man has never written a bad score in his life. No,
it's quite unreal when you look at his back catalogue and some of the stuff he's written. And he is getting the age. He is starting to slow down.
Yeah.
We know he's not doing Spielberg's last couple of movies, and which he did everything before.
Yeah.
Whether he'd come back for Indy 5, but that's not shooting until 2019. So
which we will get to. Yes.
Yeah. So it's crazy, but yeah. All good to him on letting out information so we can talk about it.
Indeed. However, we might as well actually, since you mentioned Indy 5, we might as well get onto that and swap our sketch around a little bit. Yes, Indy 5 to be filmed in the UK in April next year. Again, because the Lucasfilm deal in the UK is going to continue, which for the UK film industry is a massive deal. I mean, they're building a new studio in Dagenham, and the rule is purely because Star Wars and Lucasfilm have booked out the main Pinewood studio for the next 10 years. They need somewhere else to shoot things in the UK. So yes, it's going to be quite interesting to see what happens. But yes, that relationship is continuing, which is good for the economy, which is just good for filming in general. And you do wonder if Lucasfilm may even end up setting up permanent shop in the UK.
It's something that you could feel coming. I mean, Spielberg announced this again at the Empire Awards. He announced that he was doing Indy 5, and he gave massive credit to the reason for that is for the actors over here and the crew that he gets in the UK. So give massive props to everyone who's worked around, which I expect from Spielberg. He seems like a really good guy who looks after the people
asked George, because don't forget, George met him not that long ago.
George did get to meet. George went to the premiere of
and JJ as well, which is
and so yeah.
Oh.
George hangs out at premieres. He's that guy.
And director Chronic as well. I was like, oh come on, George, really?
He's done very well for himself in his autograph hunting. But yeah, George is always on the barrier at some of these big premieres. He's in London a lot. Yes. So I think he actually just lives outside some of these premiere places. But yeah, so what was I talking about? Oh, Spielberg. Sorry, I literally hit a hole and I have no idea what I'm talking about. So it's just this studio that they could open. I mean, you look at the potential. This is Star Wars. You've seen what they've done with Harry Potter. They've left that studio space open, left the things like the Great Hall are there, and
yeah, and they've just
the money that must make. I've been once
around it.
And the queues you go down, it's huge.
On a different note, though, it is worth going, by the way, to the Harry Potter studio.
Oh yeah, I would recommend it.
It's incredible.
I'm not a Harry Potter guy, but my wife is a massive Harry Potter person, and she just had the biggest grin on her face all day. And
yeah,
it was still cool.
It was just to walk through that corner. It was magical. I absolutely loved it.
To walk through that Great Hall and things like that is this actual set is great. The fact you can do that now is something spectacular. If that's the Falcon, that's even better.
Yeah, as of when we do this for Star Wars, all three of us will be there on opening day going, yeah, we are here and we don't care. We can have that for a week, we might as well, but we don't care, we are going in and it's awesome.
So it should, I think that's definitely what they should look at doing with the amount of studio space. The fact they've got these studios for so long, they should leave a lasting mark. It's been, other than the prequels that George decided had to be done in Australia.
Yeah.
No, episode 1 as well?
No,
two and three. So the fact other than that, everything was done.
Episode 1 was shot at Shepperton.
Yes, but yeah, then 2 and 3 went to Australia. Why all the accents? But no, so it's. I think it could be a lasting legacy that should be put in, and not for maybe the ongoing, for the legacy of what Star Wars was, and this is the history that we had.
But more of what it will become.
Yeah.
Indeed. However, though, again, talking back on track with Star Wars, we have had a new planet for Solo revealed called Vandal, which is where the train heist is set now. The train heist you've seen a couple of clips of. You've seen more of it in the teaser for the teaser trailer than the actual teaser trailer, but you do see a couple of clips for it. It's okay, I guess. I mean, it's the name of a planet. We'll find out more, I guess. I mean, it's more Corellia for me, where I'm most invested in this movie, is seeing Corellia, seeing the shipyards, seeing where Solo grew up. Yeah, Corellia for me is the main drawing point for this film.
Yeah, like you say, it's nice to get a revealable place. That this is the planet, that's what it's called, that's where they are, and it looks quite cool on the front of that train, on top of the train. It looks very much Western from all the shots they're doing.
It reminds me very much of Shadows of the Empire when you're trying to fight IG-88 on the train. It's that it has that kind of feel for me.
Love it. Nice deep cut. But yeah, so it's nice to get another name. I'd rather get another trailer.
Yes, I've seen
certainly advertisements are now starting to show up in the front of the Art of Solo has shown up. So again, we're getting into the Art of book, which is part and parcel now of these movies, and certainly Pablo Hidalgo will have a visual dictionary coming out as well.
For sure, and both of them are worth purchasing. My other half gave me The Art of the Last Jedi for Christmas, and I adore that book.
They're absolutely worth picking up. They're worth your time just to have a look through. Even if you don't want to sit and read through everything, just some of the artwork in there and the potential ideas that they thought out the process. You can see how these films take shape through them, and
so if you look at it from not a Star Wars point of view, just an art point of view, it's still stunning.
Yeah, it's nice to hear another place, but I say I want more I want a trailer. I want something else. I want to see more of this movie before we're getting it's April next week, so we've got like a month and 20 odd days till this thing lands, which is crazy. We're getting, don't get me wrong, it's brilliant.
And
we're getting another
still
Star Wars
only
movie.
one trailer, which is my point earlier. It's like, are you kidding me? It's 2 months to go, and you've only dropped one trailer.
Certainly, they're keeping the cards close to the chest in this one. I don't know. I think it's probably because of all the issues that started out with the movie. They now don't want to put too much out there where people can then start to critique before the movie comes out. So I would expect one more trailer to come out, probably let's say May the 4th, and then we'll get nothing else until the film. Maybe we'll start getting horrendous amount of TV spots we always do. But yeah, give us some more information. Come on, had it for long enough.
Yeah, Cody, come on, please. We deserve it. Anyway, again, next bit of news. Back in The Last Jedi is the Last Jedi gag reel has been released. I've not seen it actually. I must admit, I only saw the thumbnail for it as I was setting up this video. So
I've seen it. It's, to be honest, it's not very long. I don't know if it's something that's going to be on the Blu-ray or it's already out there. But it's just an exclusive clip that is on that's online at the moment. I think it might be an E exclusive or one of those exclusives. But to be honest, a minute and a half of it is Oscar Isaac getting slapped by Carrie Fisher. There's like 40 takes, literally 40 takes of her just whacking him, and then obviously from his point of view as well. So literally the repeat of that. There's a scene of BB-8 coming out of a cupboard with a little BB-8 and Kelly Marie Tran going, "Oh my god, that's so cute." What's the other ones? John Boyega talking about his bum. Yeah, for some reason he had something on it. And what was the other bit? There was one.
I have no idea, as I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's very quick. It's literally, I don't think it's the full thing. It's very quick to watch, a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Not hilarious. Gag reel, but fine. I'm sure there'll be more to see when that comes through.
Indeed. And then the last bit for Last Jedi news is the Shakespeare Star Wars Episode 8 has been revealed. Jedi the Last, out July 10th.
I'm a massive Shakespeare guy. I love Shakespeare. I did English literature at like A level, and Shakespeare was my thing. I like Othello, things big books I really enjoy. I can't get into these books. I've got a couple of them.
I've got the first one, but not really my thing.
Yeah, I've been gifted a few as well, but I just trying to emulate Shakespeare and then put a Star Wars comedy spin on it. I can't get into. Give me funny Shakespeare and I'm with you, and give me Star Wars and I'm with you. But neither of the twain shall mix. But yeah, so it's great. I'm sure there's a lot of for them to keep doing them. There is some love for those books, but for me, just that doesn't do much for me at all, unfortunately.
Yeah, same. However, if you do want it, it's out July 10th. So there you go. And then, second to last, we have the D23 dates announced for 2019, which is August 23rd through the 25th, which is cool, but where's Star Wars Celebration?
Yeah, it's nice to hear that these things. And D23 is now massive, where Star Wars, Disney tend not to give their stuff to Comic-Con now. Yeah. They tend to hold it all back for D23 so they can give their own releases and launches and get all the actors in there.
Yeah.
But you're right, we're all waiting for one announcement and one announcement only, and that's Celebration.
Yeah.
And we expect that to be coming
May the 4th
soon. Probably. I would hope before Solo. I really would hope before Solo.
Yeah.
They're holding off. I think, honestly, they are waiting so they have an absolute concrete date for Star Wars Land.
Yeah, I think it's for Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. They are waiting for that final kind of confirmation of this is what it is, this is where it's coming. They have a rough date, but they want a concrete opening date. Don't get me wrong, I completely understand and get that. You want to make sure that you can deliver. When it's something that's this hyped and this much, it's going to have a lot of love behind it. People are going to want to go there. You want to get it right. They are trying to treat Star Wars with the best respect possible. You can see that by the way they let JJ go back to practical effects in episode 7, the amount of free reign they gave Ryan in episode 8, and his own trilogy now, which although 8 is amazing, people may not think he deserved it, but trust me, we do, and we can't wait to see what he does with his own personal bit of the Star Wars universe. The way they are trying to look after as much as possible, why they're churning through directors, is because they want to release the best product possible, which then we question why they don't put more experienced people behind the helm, but that's a different discussion for a different day. With the TV show, again, next year, that's being taken on, again, by experienced hands. They are trying to look after it best as possible. So with this, I think they want to make sure they have that release date so that when you get there, either it's 90% done or 100% done. Anything less than 90, I don't think they'll do it.
Yeah, I mean, there's rumors out there that we will get like this celebration. There will be like a cold open, and it will be before it actually opens.
It was
and it'll be just
yeah,
that's what I meant. Sorry, soft open.
Yeah.
For the Star Wars fans, the only people who will see that before it opens to the public will be the people at Celebration. Yeah. So that's a rumor that's out there. Whether that comes to pass, another thing. But it does sound like it's something that could go ahead. They'll go, you know what? Yeah, we'll give these guys full access to everything, so they're not being pushed around. They've got all the space to see everything. Yeah. And you know what? They would have the best crowd to open that to. They would have people who are there who want to be there for Star Wars, not just families who are going for a day at Disney, who are also going to go see Star Wars.
Purely for Star Wars.
You want to get good reviews out initially, Celebration, have it there before it's been open to the public, and you will get every 100% on every feedback site you want.
Exactly. And speaking of Galaxy's Edge, the last bit of news we have is Batou, which is the planet it's based on, is going to be referenced in the new Thrawn book, Thrawn Alliances, which comes out this year, which I am very excited for. I'm over halfway through the first Thrawn book, and I would enjoy it immensely. I love the character, we all do, from Rebels, so yes, bring that on. It would be nice to see it referenced in canon, and find out more.
It's again, it's another name for a planet, but it's nice to know that it's going to be referenced in canon as well as not just being a place where the Disney park is. Yeah. To know that it's going to be actually a real place. So if you've read those canonical books or you've read it somewhere, you're like, oh, that's the planet I'm on now. Yeah. And that gives you so much more.
Which basically means when
enjoyment of it, like
go there next year, I will be pointing things at, and you like, okay, because I am the curator of canon here. It's fine.
He really is, yeah. You really are, and that's a good thing that someone is that heavy into it. I mean, George and I have the movie interest, the passing interest in that, and I've read the odd book, but not as in depth as Phil has. Phil is in the canon big time. Yeah. Oh, that's my mother ringing too. So I'm just going to end that call. Over there. Sorry about that, guys. Just my mother trying to reach me. So I'm gonna just see what that's about, Phil. If you want to riff, if you can, did you see Force of Destiny?
I did. I will quickly go through.
I'll be back with you in a few seconds, sir.
Yeah, go for it. So, let's say you kind of exit them on there. Again, this is what you get for doing shows live. We can't really predict everything that goes on. So yes, we had Disney release the new Forces of Destiny over the past week. Again, the characters this time, instead of just the first ones were more of a female orientated. Not that that's a bad thing, it's just that's the route they chose to go with. But the new Force of Destiny, you have Jyn Erso on I think Jeddah, if I remember correctly off the top of my head. Try to remember it here. You have Hera and Sabine stealing a TIE shuttle with Chopper, who is actually quite hilarious because he doesn't even make the charge kind of noise, which is hilarious. We have a really, really cool and interesting one, which is a Clone Wars one with Ahsoka, Anakin, and Padme, which you then see Ahsoka recognize the relationship between the two of them. That's a very, very interesting moment that I will ask David Bino when he gets back, of course, but for me, that was kind of cool to see that relationship get acknowledged by a character that we've all grown to know and love, and to imagine how that would have played out if she'd stayed within the Order. That's kind of cool. And then my favourite one is Luke with Yoda. Now, with that, you had Mark Hamill coming back to do the voice of Luke, and it's not just the old man Luke we've come to see in Episode 7, Episode 8. This is young Luke from Episode 5. And yes, you can tell by Mark Hamill's voice is a little older. However, it's a brilliant one. You have Luke going through the trees on Dagobah and Yoda guiding him, and it's more of that training. And you see why and how he's being carried in the first place in the backpack, which is just hilarious. So yes, you have Sabine and Hera, you have Luke and Yoda, you have Jyn Erso, and you have Anakin, Padme, and Ahsoka. So yeah, that's the new Force Destiny we've had throughout the week. Now that Dave is back, Dave, your opinions on those new episodes?
The
Porgs and Rey, because the Porgs and Rey is hilarious.
It's pretty good. There were some of them that I think were great. The Leia Boushh episode was great.
Yeah,
where she got the Boushh outfit. I loved Luke training on Dagobah.
It's the fact that actually on that, I've forgotten the Boushh episode though. You have, I can't remember his name, but you have the Green Rabbit that was in the old Star Wars comics back from the 70s. Right. He's now been made canon.
Yeah, it's
crazy. It's why I'm the curator of canon. I know these very obscure details.
I mean, he was an awful character in the old Marvel comics. Yeah. He was brought in, but yeah, so he was in there. I mean, the Leia Boushh thing was awesome. I loved Luke on Dagobah. That's by far my favorite. Mark Hamill voicing Luke.
I mean, you get something said. You can tell he's a little older by the voice, but at the same time, it's brilliant to see Luke and Yoda on Dagobah with Yoda going, well, yeah, you're going to carry me. How else do you think I'd get around?
I love that. And the Ahsoka, Anakin, Padme, I loved as well. Such a shout back to Clone Wars.
I was saying when you left how I found it was very interesting to see the dynamic between Ahsoka and Padme, where she recognised the relationship.
Yeah.
And to imagine what would have happened if Ahsoka hadn't left the Jedi Order, if Order 66 hadn't exactly gone down the way it had, potentially what could have happened.
It was up there. I mean, it's literally 2.5 minutes?
Yeah, for a 2.5 minute story, it gives you so many thoughts.
It was one that gave me proper feels. That and the Luke one, just Jyn one wasn't bothered about. I don't even know if it was Felicity Jones voicing.
It was Felicity Jones, yes.
It was? Okay, it didn't sound like her. I don't know, obviously mostly.
Oh, I forgot one bit of extra news we could talk about.
We'll get to it after this then. Cool.
Yes. How was George left this off of it? Oh,
we'll get to that in a second.
Yes.
But yes, so overall, these Force of Destinies episode, the first series was okay. I watched them, but didn't really enjoy them very much. They were okay. They were based. They brought these out with a line of toys that were aimed at younger female audience. And now they've kind of stretched it out a little bit. They've ended the toy line.
Yep.
And they're including more characters like Yoda and Luke on Dagobah was I really enjoyed these as a second series to sit down, just watch them back to back. Took 10 minutes of your time and you got filled in all these little stories. Say the Leia Boushh one was superb, Luke was superb, but the Clone Wars one gave you the most feels with Anakin and Ahsoka and Padme. Loved it.
Yeah, that and the Luke and Yoda for me were the best. Now, the moment of news that George has left off, and the moment I'm disappointed that George is not here for. So, as we just mentioned, Felicity Jones did the voice for Jyn Erso in The Force of Destiny, and before this, we know Harrison Ford sets the bar with autograph prices. However, our main rant, as you well know, long-time viewers of One to the Force, is Felicity Jones, who charged an extraordinary amount of $500 combined for an autograph and a photo. John Boyega has now dropped this, ladies and gentlemen, with $575. It does include your entry to the con, but yes, $575 combined for an autograph and a photo, which is a ridiculous sum of money.
All right, it is a ridiculous sum of money for an autograph and a picture. I'd be happy to pay it for Boyega than I would Felicity Jones.
Yes and no. It is, and I would prefer it. Yes, I would give the two. I would prefer to have Finn's over Jyn's.
You're a poet and didn't know it. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, I feel over Jyn any day of the week. However, $575.
There's very little the cast you'd be really willing to pay that for. Probably Daisy Ridley would probably get that amount. Hamill, yes, absolutely. And we know Ford, you are going to have to drop £1,000 if you want us to get anywhere close to Harrison Ford's autograph. Yeah, I think official picks middle of towards end of last year, just said there was going to be a personalised signing.
I worked out it was £100 a letter for my name.
Yeah, so I think it worked out about £1,100 if you wanted him to sign, personally sign. You could get your signature. If you wanted it personalised, you had to pay more. And we know Harrison Ford is the big get for autograph fans of Star Wars who want to get that. Most people have Hamill and Fisher, and they have those on things, and the only person they don't have is the one who would complete your collection. Showmasters.
Damn you, Showmasters.
So yeah, I mean, it is crazy the prices that we get charged because of the film that we love and the franchise that we love that we're going to get done. If this was John Boyega of Pacific Rim at a con getting autographs and hadn't been in Star Wars, you would be looking 50, 60, maybe at a push. Attack of the Block, John Boyega, how much does he cost? So the amount that he's paying. Although, you know what, he seems like a cool guy, and I think I would quite like to meet him.
I like that film, though.
Yeah. Which one?
Attack of the Block.
Oh, it's a great movie, don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
but
I like that film.
John Boyega from that, if you met him,
25 quid.
Then, yeah.
25 quid all day long. But because he's in Star Wars, $575.
It is nuts how badly we get treated as fans sometimes over what we get charged for things.
I mean, I've paid $135 to get Mark Hamill, to get Luke Skywalker. Yeah, that's a big difference.
It's massive, isn't it? It really is. I'm so devastated now. I did not go for autographs when we were at Celebration London, because now when you look at the prices, they're just rising, and it's nuts that I just didn't even think at the time, I'll spend money on that. I'm devastated.
However, you did buy a awesome Sideshow Collectibles R2-D2.
I do. One day I'm going to put a thing on my channel about it.
One day you're going to do a review, even though I have asked you many times. I have asked you repeatedly many times, damn it. I made you buy that thing. I want to see a review of it.
One day I honestly will put a video about it. But the humor now of it is the fact that it's not there and Phil wants to see it.
Yeah. Hey, I was the one that convinced you to buy it. You know,
You really did. You really... My arm didn't need that much twisting, but it was twisted all the same.
Yeah. Well, you did some twisting.
It's
like, I don't know. Well, look, when are you going to get to spend this much money again? I mean, with your wife's permission, spend this much money.
Yeah, that's an excellent line. Yeah, that's the line to completely.
You also got the awesome poster to go with it as well, which I do like.
Oh, the signed R2 poster is awesome. They were limited at the con as well. That was an awesome. It's nice to go back to it every now and again, because the fact ladies and gentlemen, this is our official issue. This is episode 30 of our podcast. Yeah. We do these fortnightly, so we're not every week. So we've got 30 episodes, and then we've got all of our sub episodes of different things covering Celebration. Yeah. It's crazy that we got here. That so many podcasts kind of come and go.
Like 5-6 episodes.
Yeah, and I mean our numbers are kind of growing a little bit. We've had a few more subscribers come on the YouTube channel. Yeah. Our Facebook page is growing, which is great. That's getting more likes and more follows on there as well. It's really great. Our Instagram's starting to kind of pick up a few people as well.
You know,
our first giveaway. Yes, actually, while we're on about that, I will say we named that came in Matthew Wood. You won the prize. You have not got in touch. I have left him a DM and I've messaged him on Facebook. I have not heard from you yet. So if you are watching this, please look on your messenger, give me a shout out and get that boxed up and sent out to you. It is sitting waiting.
Yes. If not, we will have to give it away. We don't wish to do that, but yeah, please hurry up.
Yes, I'll give Matthew. What I'll say now is you have until the next of our episodes, not in 2 weeks on Wednesday.
Yes.
So if by the end of that I haven't heard, I will then redraw and we will then give that novel out to the next person on the list.
Indeed. However, that ends the news part of the show, which has taken up nearly an hour already. So, Toy Shelf. We've got a few bits in Toy Shelf this week. We have the Hot Toys reveal of the Episode 3 Obi-Wan, which, incredible.
These Hot Toys. They steal my heart whenever these releases come out, because the amount of work that goes into them is quite unreal.
Oh, yeah. You get what you pay for, and you pay a lot, but they are just stunning pieces. I mean, George has the Episode 6 Luke on order, which, I don't want to so badly.
I just can't blame anybody for wanting these. So, I mean, the Tarkin one is still high on my list to have. The Emperor Palpatine
But
one
it
that's
doesn't
coming
come
out
with
with.
slippers, though. It's the only thing.
I can make slippers. That'll be fine. A little pair of pink slippers
Yep.
on Tarkin's feet would be awesome. But no, I mean, it's just the Tarkin one I say is awesome. That the Emperor in his throne is a must-have. Unfortunately, I don't have the must-have bank balance to go with it. But they release more and more of these things, and they're just awesome. These are collector's pieces that once you've moved on to sort of where your collection is, and I like having I've got the Black Series. No, I've got a few of these. And you think, oh, well, maybe I could trade in a few of these and get a Hot Toys. When you've got one Hot Toys, you probably want all the Hot Toys. But yeah, a absolute thing of beauty.
It's where you go, I need a centerpiece for the collection. I will get a Hot Toys, and then you go, yes, I need more of these. I do not own any yet. I will get one at some point. But going for something that I do want to something that I would like, but I'm not paying anywhere near the ridiculous sum they're requesting. The HasLab Jabba's Skiff has only a week left, is now available in the UK, comes with an exclusive vintage figure, and still needs 1,200 more backers.
Yeah, we discussed this at length on our last episode. Jabba's Sail Barge, which is a great piece, and what we didn't know is why it was that you brought it on such scale. There are things people would have probably paid. You would have snapped off their hands if it had been a Star Destroyer or something like that at this point. But you're right. They've had to incentivize it. At first, it was like, it's only out in the US. And it was like, all right, Canada, please, you can help us too. Oh, Europe, okay, come on, you guys can play too. Get us past the 5,000. And they still aren't there. All right, we've got this Yak Face, 3 3/4, and he's on the vintage card. And you get the coin with it as well. And they still kind of hit their 5,000. This thing is not going to make it. No. And to be honest, I think a lot of fans like myself have looked at it and thought, well, it's great that you've made this massive set, but just it's not.
If they had made the Death Star 2 with all the holes, the cutaways, that would have been incredible. If they had done the hangar for episode 4 with Vader and Obi-Wan and Falcon, that would have been cool. If they'd done almost anything else.
Yeah, that's it. That's you hit the nail on the head. It could have been anything else and it probably would have sold. This is just when it was first announced, I don't see the pull for it. I just don't see the people crying out for Jabba's Sail Barge.
No. I mean, if it came with a Sarlacc, maybe that would have been cool.
I just don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand. Well, I understand perfectly, obviously, because I'm one of those people who think I'm not getting that. Because why would you pay £500? It's not cheap. This is not a This is not a toy. This is it's definitely a collector's thing.
Oh no, this is not a toy. This is a complete collector's piece. Yeah,
but it just doesn't have the pull at all that the fan as a piece that the fans would rush out for, and that's you want to hit 5,000 sales. You've got the fans say, what is the one piece that you would want 3 3/4 scale that would make you rush out? And there are pieces out there. People would have had a list. They could have picked out of a top 5, 10 items.
Yeah. Here's the Executioner. Here is Darth Vader's Super Star Destroyer. Now that would have flown off the shelves immediately.
Yeah,
they would have hit the 5,000 backers in a day, guaranteed.
It would have been insane, and I just don't. I don't get it. I'm kind of upset they haven't hit the 5,000 because then Hasbro go, well, we tried it. It doesn't work. People don't want these big collection pieces, which we do.
If they'd done, here's a full 3 3/4 scale AT-AT.
Yeah,
that would have been wicked. But no,
absolutely. It's just they've picked poorly, and I don't know whether they've done it kind of not on purpose. Because obviously, a lot of work's gone into that sail barge. If you have a look at the videos that are online, this thing has had
the attention to detail is great, and the company doesn't have faith in it when they do a Kickstarter. A huge company like Hasbro do a Kickstarter style project.
It came up badly from that moment, really. That people were looking around.
Someone up top has had the same thoughts we've had. Okay, yes, you can make it, but only if you reach this goal, and
only if you guarantee this many, this many sales. No. Yeah, So you're right. Is it 20? Did you say 24 hours left?
No, it's 1 week.
1 week left. It's still not going to get there. Even with opening, I mean, you would have thought they opened it to Europe that it would have just pushed that up and they would have got that quite quickly.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at
Still
nearly
dragging.
175 a day.
Yeah, so
at least.
I just can't see it. I can't see it happening.
And then finally, in the toy shop, you have the new Funko moving moment of the Finn versus Phasma, which I don't care.
Well, I mean, what we do have to do is this is an actual in memoriam section right now, because what we have to announce, and sadly and with a heavy heart, George has put his Funko collection.
Yeah, he's put it up for sale. It will be long gone, hopefully soon.
I mean, I had a look at the eBay listing. I mean, it's quite a collection. There are quite some exclusives in there. But yeah, I mean, Funko kind of they
dropped the ball.
Yeah, they hit a high point. They dropped the ball. They hit a high point, and like we were saying previously, again, covered.
Oh, we seem to have lost Dave. Yeah, we seem to have lost Dave there. Yes, so yeah, George has put his collection up for sale. It is a in memoriam section. It is quite an extensive collection with a lot of exclusives on it. But yes, as we were saying, Funko dropped the ball with the way they've been handling it, with regulars that no one wants and exclusives that everyone wants, but not releasing the exclusives. Like, if they've delayed it by going, here, you can have it a week early at this con, or you can have it later on, or just do a couple of exclusives a year, that would have been fine. To base almost all of your sales on exclusives, that's not really the way to go. Do we have a Dave back?
Hi, don't know if you. I'm sorry about this. I am having some technical issues at my side. So if you have lost me, I do apologize. I'm trying to get my internet connection running, so I think I might be back now.
You are back indeed, yes.
Yay, hooray. Sorry about that, guys. So,
that's all right, I riffed.
Other than my mother interrupting our podcast and my internet connection, we'll be fine.
And with George just being absent, it's all down to me.
George covered in popcorn, sobbing about his pops. It's not good.
No.
But yeah,
I was saying that they dropped the ball with having exclusives that everyone wanted, regulars that no one wanted, and releasing them at odd times and odd places, and then going, well, we're not letting the rest of you have it, which then is a very bad business model.
Yeah. And I think you're right with the Finn and Phasma. Again, it's not one. There are some of those movie scenes that are really cool. I love the.
I want Luke and Vader.
Yeah, that's
exactly what I want that more than any of the ones they've done. I also want the Rey and Kylo versus Praetorian Guards. That's wicked.
Yeah, the two sets together, that'll be cool.
Phasma. In fact, well, you know my thoughts on Phasma.
Well, we all know our thoughts on Phasma as a waste of character. But yeah, it's I think it's sad. I think Pops will start to lose their reign over. At the moment, they just seem to be dropping away, and I don't. We know that they've had some issues with the actual Funko themselves. So how that continues on, I guess we'll see in probably the next coming few months to a year. But yeah, so that's kind of us done really in Toy Shelf.
It is. We're now onto games. Battlefront 2's update is now live, and no sign of any free DLC, which we were expecting a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, funny enough. No, we were expecting DLC by March. They had announced saying there will be DLC in March, but there has been nothing. And now the next bit of news is again to do with EA, and I'll combine the two just to talk about it. Apparently, they're working on an open world Star Wars game, which makes no sense because they have EA BioWare with Star Wars: The Old Republic Online, which is their online MMORPG. I do wonder why Lucasfilm are letting them work on an open world game when Battlefront 2 desperately needs the updates, desperately needs the DLC to continue the steady but very slow incline of good reviews that they got after the initial backlash. If EA want to continue having this license, they really need to pick up the pace because they are dropping it left, right, and centre.
It's crazy that I'd heard the rumor of the talk of EA having this open world game. We're looking at this big, massive, expansive Star Wars universe game online and things like that, and it just seems like, you know what, fix what you've got wrong first before you start moving on. And we know Lucasfilm want more from them. They want more content, and
but this isn't the way to go about doing it.
No, they've got to fix what's in house now, and then obviously Lucasfilm are looking at Disney are looking at the license with the EA, and who knows if that's then going to get opened up to other game studios. But I think that's coming. I really do. EA haven't used this license well. Not to
2
its
games
potential.
in 6 years is just nowhere near.
It's no good.
No good.
So yeah, I mean, it's nice to have stuff coming off Battlefront. You're right; it's taking so much longer than any of us were expecting. The way they announced the game is that their stuff was ready, and they just had release dates. So we'll drop this now, we'll drop this then, and we'll drop this a bit later. It just hasn't materialized. So it's bad showing by EA, and I can see why their license is hanging by a thread.
Yeah, and you can see why people just stop playing because they just don't do what they say they're going to do.
Yeah.
And then the last bit of news for games is 2 bits that have been included on the schedule, but I'll talk about anyway. Star Wars Legion, which is the next tabletop game by Fantasy Flight Games, has been released. They had a demo last week, and it's now been released. So Star Wars Legion, if anyone knows tabletop gaming in terms of Warhammer, it's a similar aspect to that. It's a mix of X-Wing and miniatures game, so it's you're using figures, using people like Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, ATSTs, scout bikes, you're using stormtroopers and rebel troopers. It's a game that's got a lot coming in the future, so that's just been dropped. And at the weekend, you had the largest ever X-Wing event in the world, which was the UK System Open, which had 500 players, of which I was one. And I was severely ill, which meant I had a very poor showing. And on Sunday, they had the second largest ever X-Wing event in the world, which was 417 players, which was the side event. Again, which I was part of and didn't have a good showing because I was severely ill. I did not have a good weekend. Illness-wise, I didn't play well. However, I had a great time with my squadron and my half and things. So it was a great weekend overall. But yes, it just shows, though, how the Star Wars and modelling tabletop community is just coming together with, yes, the largest ever X-Wing event, 500 players. Legion, again, flying off the shelves. So to see what they're doing with FFG, I mean, EA should take a leaf out of FFG's book. You want to know how to handle a license? This is how you handle a license. We had a problem a few months ago to do with a couple of the upgrade cards and how they interacted in the game. FFG needs to get Lucasfilm's approval to fix it, to release the FAQ, as they do with everything. They got it done very, very quickly. They listen and they respond. EA, why you not do this? Listen to FFG, take a leaf out their books. But yes, so that's the last bit of news. We only got a Cantina talk on here. Dave, you can impromptu come up with one now.
That is lovely to put me on the spot.
You're welcome.
Just got left halfway through it.
You left a couple of times in this conversation, therefore I'm putting you on the spot.
Okay, so if we're going to look at the Forces of Destiny as this continuation of, or filling in of blanks in stories,
yeah,
in the Star Wars universe, as in movie and TV canon,
yeah,
what is an area that you most want to see filled?
There is one area, there's one key episode they would need to do that for me would complete the Clone Wars, and that is the Ahsoka Anakin last time they see each other line. So it was a throwaway line in Rebels that connects what happened at the end of Clone Wars, and it's just this key moment that is missing from history in Star Wars lore. It's been mentioned in canon, but hasn't been fully explored. Even in the Ahsoka book, it's been kind of explored, but it's just there's one key moment missing, and that needs to be explored. And if they're doing with this Force of Destiny, they can as they were done, they can kind of shove bits of Clone Wars in there. That's the one bit they need to put in there.
I mean, I've only read the book a few weeks ago and polished it. I mean, It is a junior novel, so I should be expected as a man of nearly 40 to be able to polish through that book quickly. But I cleared that in a couple of days. It was actually a really, really good read. I would recommend it really highly out there if you want to get a bit more coverage.
Sat on my shelf, yeah.
It's a really good book. I really would recommend it. And I'm not massive in the books, but I flashed through that book, and it's got a really good story behind it. It builds Ahsoka's character so well. Even if you're not into reading very much, if you get the audiobook of this, it is actually Eckstein is the reader of the book.
It's brilliant, yeah.
So you have Ahsoka doing Ahsoka's voice, so that's awesome. But to be honest, I completely agree with Phil. That is where I want to see Phil. I want the Ahsoka story. I want Clone Wars finished. Yes, Rebels was a continuation of that series to a point, but I want to see
It's that one key.
It's just that
moment.
scene of Anakin leaving Ahsoka and Ahsoka's involvement in Order 66, and it's very Ahsoka from being this character that was despised when she first came out to being one of the most beloved Star Wars characters that are out there. It's a story that he's telling. To be honest, before Rogue One, I always wanted to see the stealing the Rebel plans. That was all the Death Star plans.
That bit. That was a key moment that got filled.
And that was
it's the one key moment that for me it needs filling. We know it's there. They've spoken about it. And if you haven't watched the Star Wars Celebration panel of the Ashley Eckstein panel was that 2016 when we were there?
No, it was yes, it was. Sorry, yes, it was. Yeah.
We were watching the Rebels panel, I believe. No. I was in the Daniels panel. You were in the no. What panel was it?
It was Luke.
There was a crossover.
Yeah, there was a clash. It was on the first day.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't think I even got there when I got there. That was on. But yeah, so it's a great panel that Dave Filoni tells with Pablo Hidalgo's there and Ashley Eckstein, and they talk through what their plans were to round out the Ahsoka story had Clone Wars continued. That story may well have changed. Obviously, it's never been fully mentioned in canon.
And that's what they believe.
It's hinted at
in
the Ahsoka book.
Head canon for Pablo Hidalgo, it pretty much is canon.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, in the Ahsoka book, it's broken up as you get a chapter of the story, a couple of chapters of the story, and then there's a little chapter that's a flashback to what happened, like her fighting with Maul, and after the clone troopers have all gone, and it hints really well at the story. I'm quite shocked that we had the same when I thought about it, because that was what was in my head. The Ahsoka book and the fact you have the same thing. She's become such a big character in the Star Wars universe.
It's a very key moment that, for me, it's more the Anakin side of it. Of the last time she saw him was he was going off to then save the Chancellor. It's that moment of the end of Clone Wars and the end of it's the end of Anakin's innocence in a way of just the pure.
Yeah,
Jedi.
The last time she'd see Anakin. The next
it was last time she'd see Anakin, but as Anakin, obviously.
Yeah, she sees Anakin just through the hole in the helmet. The next time she sees him,
but it's also the last time you have Anakin being purely a Jedi, because the next time we see him, he's taken off Dooku's head.
So he's already on the turn.
He's already started down the dark side path by that point. But to see the last moment of pure good before he turns back in the end of episode 6. That for me is a very key moment that he's filling.
And I fully concur with you, sir. I'm quite shocked that I thought we might have something like go on for a while, but I'm absolutely with you. That Ahsoka turning point with Anakin is something that I really want filled in, and if it would be filled in by Dave Filoni and his animation crew at some point in some of the story, in some of the series, give me a flashback episode in whatever Ahsoka series that comes. Ahsoka's going to be involved somewhere in the next series. They're not going to bring her back the way they did the end of Rebels to then leave that character. I think we'll see the end of her story in animation rather than anywhere else. I don't think we'll see her in a feature. But I would love to see a flashback of sort of what they're talking about, that moment where Anakin finally left her with a squadron of troopers and Rex, and off they go. And it's a moment that I would love to see.
Filling. And I think that's it for this evening. Our breaking news has just gone live, and there's nothing really interesting in that. So I think that's it for now. Dave, anything else to add?
Just really, again, a massive, massive thank you to everyone who's come on board the YouTube. I say we're getting a few extra views on that. Not views, we're getting more views, but we are also getting more subscribers on there. So please, if you're watching this or you've seen this on the Facebook or on the iTunes or the SoundCloud, please do come on board, like and subscribe on the YouTube page. Our Facebook page is growing. We're trying to get more and more updates on there. Trying to get updated at least once a day, or at least once every other day with some Star Wars information. Same with our Instagram, all under Ones with the Force. Please come on board, join us. We are trying to get more and more with our social media out there. We will grow that, I think, over this sort of year and us towards Solo. But yeah, so really just a massive, massive thank you to everyone who's kind of part of this, who's come on board and joined us for, as I say, we're a 30 show old podcast, which when we started this, I had no idea we'd ever get to this point where we'd still be doing shows this far down the line. It was
we're still loving it, still doing it, and that's just 30 plus specials.
Yeah, so I mean, that I didn't have this in my life before seems crazy. That this is now something that I do and I enjoy.
This is the thing. We still find it crazy that three dudes met at a celebration and ended up becoming really good friends and doing a crazy ass podcast together, which we've done for well over a year now. And as we said, most podcasts crash after 5 or 6 episodes. People can't make it. People can't lose interest in things. But this is a subject that we all love. I mean, you have to remember, we sat down and chatted Star Wars for 3 days straight and didn't get bored. So if we could do it for 3 hours, 3 days straight, we could do it for a couple hours a week, every other week, no problem.
Absolutely. But yeah, so it's amazing, and thank you so much everyone for joining us who has. It does mean the world to us that people watch us and listen to us as well. That it's not just us three talking to nobody. And even if it was, that would be great still. But the fact there are other people out there who enjoy this means the absolute world. So thank you very much.
It's you being absent, you know how it is.
George will be returning.
Yes.
He's just busy the way out. Phil and I just literally sit in our house another night to think.
Well, this is the thing. Every other week I'm playing X-Wing, so I'm still doing something Star Wars related. Wednesday's my one busy night. It's just how it is. But yes, I think that's about it for this evening. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Check out Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're trying to put up more out. We're constantly coming up with new ideas behind the scenes. We've got little bits ideas rolling, especially for the 1.5-year break between Solo and 9, but with TV shows and things. We've got plenty coming. I'm the curator of canon, as always, with comics and books and all sorts, and I have some ideas cooking up in my brain for reviews and bits and pieces. So we shall see. But until then, that's it. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We've been Ones of the Force. May the Force be with you. Goodbye.